just to thank the organizers for inviting me here. Finland is one of the, well, it is the main supporter of the IGF. Financially, it's the biggest contributor to our trust fund. And also Finland has always been actively involved, especially with Yuria there. He's been very active, and he's not looking at the time. He's been very active and a very good supporter of the IGF process. Now, Wolfgang this morning went through the internet governance landscape and touched upon the IGF. So I'll just go briefly, very quickly, just through the introduction, just to make sure that everybody understands the UN IGF and how it came about. So, as he said this morning, the Internet Governance Forum is one of the major outcomes of the World Summit of the Information Society. Now, the World Summit of the Information Society was held in two phases. There was the Geneva phase in 2003 and the Tunis phase in 2005. In 2003, there was this discussion about internet governance and what internet governance is. So, and they couldn't decide. So, as is with the UN, they set up a working group, which was the working group of internet governance, to come up with a agreed upon definition of what internet governance is. This is the definition they came up with, is internet governance is the development and application by governments, the private sector and civil society in their respective roles of shared principles, norms, rules, decision-making procedures and programs that shape the evolution and use of the internet. And the Internet Governance Forum comes up from paragraph 72 of the Tunis Agenda. That was the meeting that was held in 2005. And its main mandate is to discuss public policy issues related to key elements of internet governance in order to foster the sustainability, robustness, security, stability, and development of the internet. So the first mandate was from 2006 to 2010, and it was renewed in 2010 for a further 5 years. This will lead it up to 2015, where there is going to be a major review of all the WSIS action line items. Now, as you all know, I'm sure, since the IGF is a platform for multi-stakeholder policy dialogue. It is based in a soft governance approach. That means that we're not a treaty-making organization. What is discussed and what comes out at the end of it does not have to be followed by all the members. But the IGF can shape opinion and decision-making in people's home countries and institutions. So the IGF more deals with second-order effects, if you know what I mean. We do not directly affect the policy-making arena. And one of the very important things that came out of the Tunis summit, which Wolfgang touched upon as well, is the multi-stakeholder model, where you found that the member states of the United Nations actually agreed to let go some of their power and invite a multi-stakeholder model into the UN as such to discuss the internet. And I was listening to Wolfgang's presentation, and he didn't, well, I thought he didn't, he might not have, he didn't actually connect the two, that the way the internet was made, there was no central authority controlling the internet. There are several organizations which you can point at which are key to the internet, but there's no one organization which you can say is the ruler of the internet as such. So I think that the IGF and the Internet Governance Forum and Internet governance in general should follow that model, and that is what is happening at the moment. Of course, just a little note, personal note to myself, the multi-stakeholder model is said to be increasingly under attack because, of course, I mean, there is the security concerns, and there are a lot of issues of concern to various organizations and various governments, but I feel these all can be discussed in the IGF and help the various stakeholders reach a common understanding. Now, the structure of the Internet Governance Forum, it is based in Geneva, and there's the Secretariat of the Internet Governance Forum, which that's where I am. There's the Secretary General Special Advisor for Internet Governance, who reports to the Secretary General. At the moment, there isn't a Secretary Special Advisor, but that post is going to be filled in due course. Nitin Desai was the last one, and he retired at the end of 2010. Now, the main stakeholders is the academic and technical community, governments, civil society, private sector, and IDOs. Now, these stakeholders all participate at an equal footing in all the IGF open consultations and meetings. We don't have a speaking order. In most UN fora, there is a speaking order. It's governments first, and then technical or the private sector, and the civil society is mainly sitting in the observer decks. But here, everybody has got an equal say. If a civil society person puts up their hand and a big country puts up their hand next, it's the civil society person who gets to speak first. So we don't differentiate between our stakeholders at the meetings. Now, there is a MAG, which is made up of 55 members from each of the stakeholder groups. It's renewed every year, and this year it's just been renewed, so the new MAG is going to sit in May, in the next meeting in May, which I'll talk about more later on. And there's 2 members from Finland in the MAG. One of them is in this room, actually. So that's very good to see that there is involvement from Finland into the MAG, into the global IGF. Now, at the IGF, we do use these WSIS classifications to classify regional groupings, to classify where people come from. There's the Africa region, which is the blue one. There's GRULAC, which is South America and Caribbean region. WEOG, that's what Finland is part of, which is Western Europe, and others. The others include Canada, the US, New Zealand, and Australia. Eastern European group, which is the former Soviet groups, and Asia, which is the Asia Pacific groups, including Saudi Arabia and that region over there as well. Now, we've had 6 annual meetings so far, and we tend to go around the groups. The first one was in Athens in 2006, second one Rio de Janeiro, then Hyderabad in India, Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, Vilnius in 2010, and Nairobi was last year. This year, our meeting is going to be in Baku, Azerbaijan, the 6th to 9th of November. And hopefully most of you can attend, or if you can't attend, there's remote participation, and there's always various ways that you can attend. I will go through that later as well. The next meeting after that, we've had a bid from Indonesia to have the meeting next year. So the IGF is also made, as you know well aware, of regional and national IGF initiatives. The regional, there's 10 regional IGFs, Latin American and Caribbean region. There's just the Caribbean region, East Africa, West Africa, Central Africa. There's the Eurodig, which Finland is also part of, the Commonwealth IGF, Asia Pacific IGF, and Southern Africa, and the latest one was the Arab IGF, which which just got started at the beginning of this year. And there's approximately 60 national IGFs. As you can see, Finland's name is there, and they range from all over the world. And these IGFs are also encouraged to register with the Global IGF in Geneva. We call them IGF-affiliated organizations. We don't pretend to run them or anything. It's grassroots, bottom-up level. People from the national and regional levels get together and form these national and regional IGFs. And we do encourage them, though, to bring in reports to the IGF in Geneva, to the Global IGF, and also take part in the main meetings, which will give space to any national or regional IGF who wants space in the meeting. Now, for this year, we had an open consultations and MAG meeting in February 2012, and the Multi-Stakeholder Advisory Group came up with the main theme, the proposed main theme of Internet governance for sustainable and economic and human development. The MAG also recommended that the 6 main sessions and themes be kept from last year. Now, these themes are the traditional themes that we've had for a number of years now. Emerging issues, managing critical internet resources, which is, DNS, IP addressing, internet exchange points, etc. Security, openness and privacy, access and diversity, internet governance for development, and taking stock on the way forward. That's how we classify our events, workshops, and issues. And now, the call for workshop proposals ended on April 20th, and we've had over 128 workshop proposals. And the next meeting of the MAG, of the IGF, or the open consultations, and the MAG is on 15th to 17th of May 2012 during the WSIS Forum, which is going to be held in Geneva at the ILO headquarters. And part of the task of the MAG now is to go through these workshops and select the workshops which are going to take place in Baku. Now, I do encourage you all to participate. There's several ways to participate. Come to the meetings, face-to-face, or you can come online. You can submit position papers. If you feel there's an issue that should be tackled at the Global IGF, please just submit a position paper or the idea to the IGF Secretariat, or say it during the open consultations or the meetings. If you want to register as a resource person, now we have these workshops, and some workshops have difficulties finding panelists with particular expertise. And so what we've done at the IGF is that we have a resource person registration form where you can register and state what your expertise are and what kind of workshops you would like to be involved in. And then the workshop proponents can go through them and invite you to take part in the workshops. Of course, would like you to be there. That will be the best physically there in Baku, but if you cannot, you can also be a remote participant as a panelist. And I think that's a good way to get involved and to also help people. Locally, in the local IGFs, you're all here, that's good. And there's the IGF Village, where we give space for organizations, NGOs, companies who have activities in the internet governance space to showcase their activities. And these activities have to, of course, be of a non-commercial nature. Being the UN, we cannot have any selling or commercial activities going on within the UN premises. We've also got dynamic coalitions, which one of the things that just came up during the meeting, I think, was the Hyderabad meeting in India. And these dynamic coalitions are just a collection of stakeholders from, can be civil society, can be business, and there's a full list on the IGF website. These are just a couple. We have the Dynamic Coalition on Open Standards, where Brazil is a member, the World Wide Web Consortium, Sun Microsystems is a member. There's the Dynamic Coalition on Internet Rights and Principles, freedom of expression on the media, child safety online. There's a whole lot that you can join in and take part in. And of course you can start your own if you feel that there is an issue that is not being covered. So for more information you can visit our website or just send us an email. One last thing I just wanted to say is that as you know, the IGF is not just about workshops, it's not just about talking in the open sessions, etc. It is also, the value of the IGF is at the edges where people can meet, and at the IGF a whole lot of bilateral meetings take place. So if you're there, it is a place where people don't normally bump into people from the other stakeholder sides. You know, you've got governments, you have society, you've got companies, and the informal meetings that take place are also of a great value that happens at the IGF. And I do encourage all of you to come to participate in some manner. And again, I would like to thank Finland for all the support they have given to the IGF. And I'll leave it to questions. I think that's the most important, instead of me just speaking. Questions is the best.
Message 1858.
Thank you. Do we have any quick questions for Chengetai? If not, we go to the next update. Thank you very much. Mennään seuraavaan tietoiskuun. Meille tulee Internet Protokolla versio 6 käyttöönoton tilanteesta